Hello, good morning. You're watching Market Cafe on ET now with me, Vinny Motiwala, along with me, Sneha as well. Sneha, a very good morning to you as well.
Good morning.
And viewers, this is a show where we will take you all through everything that you all need to know before you all start your market day at 9:15 a.m. But what should you be prepared for? What stocks? How was the global markets? All that is what we'll cover in the next 1 hour. Sneha, let's start with the global markets then. And doesn't seem like too much of an excitement that has come in, at least from the US market close at least.
Absolutely, Vinny. Not much to worry about, but still they did not end in the green. In the red, but like I said, not much to worry about. Minor falls coming in for the US markets. Now, stock futures were near flat last night as investors analyzed the fresh batch of corporate earnings and attempted to look beyond the latest inflation reading. In after-hours action, software provider Adobe dropped nearly 11% on the week sales guidance that they had given. Beauty stock Ulta slid more than 6% after its full-year earnings forecast largely underwhelmed analysts. Those moves follow a losing day on Wall Street. The Dow slipped more than 100 points or about 0.4% to snap a 3-day winning streak. The S&P 500 and Nasdaq each fell around 0.3% each. Now, yesterday's retreat came after February's producer price index, a gauge of wholesale inflation, advanced more than what the economists had anticipated. Bond yields also climbed in the session, with the benchmark 10-year treasury reaching 4.29% as investors wondered if the recent economic data was too strong for the Fed Reserve to loosen monetary policy. Despite the leg down now, the Dow and S&P 500 are still tracking to end the week around 0.5% in the green, while the Nasdaq is on pace to add 0.3% on an overall weekly basis. All three indices are also higher when you look at it on a year-on-year basis. And well, today investors will be watching out for the economic data on topics such as consumer sentiment, import price and industrial production as well. So that's largely the moves coming in from the US markets. But with that, let's also take a look at what Europe is doing. And European markets closed lower yesterday as investors assessed another key US inflation reading. And the Pan-European Stock 600 index closed just 0.2% in the red, shedding all the morning's cautious gains that it had accumulated. Media stocks ended the session 0.7% higher. Mining stocks, however, were the biggest losers, down 1.5% yesterday. When you look at the individual indices, you have DAX that was down almost 0.1%, rather flat, but with a slight negative bias. FTSE down 0.4%. CAC 40, that one was the only index among the European markets that ended the day in the green, up 0.3%, and stock 600, like I mentioned, down 0.2%. So Vinny, rather subdued, if I could use that word, for the global handover coming in. Not too much to worry about, but well, yes, not a lot of sectors in the green anyway.
Absolutely, subdued, and maybe I think that's what will continue even for the Indian markets. Maybe we could be in that. Though the yesterday we did recover from.
Absolutely, yesterday was a good day for
from Wednesday's freakiness was something that at least we saw recovery there. Hoping not a freaky Friday at least coming in for the Indian markets. But let's move on and talk about oil prices. How are the oil prices doing? What is Brent crude oil doing as well? When you're looking at Brent crude oil prices, this morning seems like a bit of a subduedness here as well. Brent crude oil prices currently at around $85 per barrel mark is what Brent crude oil is doing. WTI crude oil $81 per barrel mark. And obviously some of the factors that one should keep an eye out for crude oil prices seems like a slight bit, at least after falling in overnight trade, we're seeing a bit of a recovery, a bit of a green coming in for the oil prices as well. And what is the reason for the increase in oil prices? Let's not forget US crude oil stockpiles that increased, that overall demand is improving, demand is strengthening, and that is possible. Maybe we could see some bit of a supply issue that could come in terms of Ukraine side, Russia side. Those issues still continue, right? So there is higher demand now. But supply, maybe if there are concerns that come in on the geopolitical front, that could be an issue, and that is why a slight bit of an uptick in terms of the oil prices that we have seen. All those attacks in Ukraine and Russia that are going on in terms of the refineries, as well as some of these concerns that come in for the crude oil prices. Now, other than that, obviously, let's look at what gold prices are doing as well. Safe haven commodity gold prices, slight bit of a green coming in, not much of an uptick there. $2,168 per ounce is what gold prices is trading at. Yields are firmer, US yields are firmer, US inventory data, inflation data, all these points are coming in as well. So gold prices, a slight bit of an uptick that we're seeing there, not majorly anything of an up move. But yes, that's how commodities are doing this morning. Sneha, let's keep an eye out on how that also pans out. A lot of geopolitical tension that there's. Sometimes you're talking about Red Sea issues again. Yes. We're talking about Russia, Ukraine. There's, concerns that come in and affect all these prices as
Especially after Ukraine struck Russia's oil field.
That is
biggest one. That was the biggest reason we're seeing volatility.
Concern actually came in on the back
Absolutely.
of that.
Yes.
But that's something that one should will have to keep an eye out on. That uncertainty is going to be there on the back of geopolitical.
Absolutely. So, Vinny, we'll see how this pans out for oil prices, WTI as well as Brent. But with that, OMCs have revised petrol and diesel prices.